And keep in mind, we're doing the colors opposite. Right now what we're going to do is you're not going to cut the yarn. You're going to leave both of these hooked. We need enough yarn just to do this thumb area. And I'm not opening up my second skein. You do have 2 of each of these, so you can just use your second one if you want. But there's more. I've already made 1 set of gloves out of this, so I'm going to do my best to see if there's enough yarn, because of course I forgot to measure the first one. But I believe there's going to be enough yarn to make 2 full sets, and then maybe even still have a little bit, not 2 full sets, 1 full set of gloves out of just 2 of these, and then you'll have your second your second 2 skeins that you can do whatever else you want with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave all this hooked to the loom, because the thumb is just, was it 8 or 9? The thumb is just 8 rows of garter stitch, and we're going to be using this end of the yarn. So you will want to pay a little more attention. You don't want to get them all tangled up. But right now what we need to do is we need to get the thumb area set up. I want to take this off for a moment, and I want to show you something. We're using a flat stitch. The flat stitch is a lot tighter. If you've made any of my other glove patterns, typically I would use like an E-wrap, or on a larger gauge loom, you just have more stretch, and you can actually take the stitches off and place one on this peg, place one on that peg. The tension is pretty tight, and you don't want to risk breaking the yarn. You're not going to break the pegs. You don't have to worry about that with this loom. The pegs actually have, it sounds weird, but they actually reinforce the plastic they use. I forget exactly, it's like a nylon, I believe. But for the smaller pegs, they reinforced them with, there's glass in them. So that's why they have, like, see this bend they have to them? And it makes them very, very, very strong. So I'm just using a cable needle. I'm putting both of those stitches, if I can catch just that stitch. Nope. Oh, I keep getting stuck there. Sorry, I'm awkward, and I'm trying to do this where you guys can see exactly what I'm doing. Doesn't help with my natural awkwardness. There we go. So I just put it on a cable needle, because the way the cable needle is shaped, it'll do a very good job of just holding all this back out of the way. I'm going to push those stitches down. Not all of them, just the beginning ones here, just to keep them out of the way. And now we can take, and I want to show you something. If you end up with one of your wedges is a little thinner than the second wedge, you want to put your thinner wedge in first, because this will be removed. And we want it back in the same spot it was. You just got to reverse it, because you want those slots facing towards what you're working on. See? You want them facing this way, in between the first 2 empty pegs right here. And this one, I already had them switched around from the first glove. So that'll be up this way. And I dropped my washer. Got, put that on there. And then tighten it up. We're going to do, this is done on 12 pegs. So we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So let me do that again. You should be doing 4 on each side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And what I did is I put this wedge right here is going to stay in the project for the rest of it. Now you're going to move it down some to do the decrease for this, but we'll worry about that when we get to it. This one right here will be removed. So these little washers overlap a bit. So you want that one that's going to be removed overlapped. It just makes it a little easier down the road, and we're not making this big enough. It's just a little thumb area. So it's not like it's going to be so big that not being able to pull it all the way down through is going to make a difference, because it's not. We've got our 12 pegs marked. Got a slip knot going. So we are going to do a chain cast on just like we did with the other part. Now, and we want a little bit of a longer tail here, because you're going to end up with a small hole right here when you're done that you're going to need to kind of sew up. So you can use both strands, because there'll be the end strand for this and the beginning strand. You can use those to help sew that up. I'm just going to kind of get you started on doing your chain cast one. It's just the same. You know, we're going up the side 4. We got these 2 over. See, I don't have those quite even, which it won't make a big difference if you don't, but it is completely adjustable. You can just loosen them up and put them wherever you want to put them. But you're going to do your chain cast on all the way around and on this peg. So you're only going to be using 12 pegs. And then you're going to do, just on these 12 pegs, 8 rows of your garter stitch, just like you did for the first 9 rows. But what you're going to do is you will E-wrap a row, purl a row, E-wrap, you'll do the same thing you did right here. But instead of for 9 rows, you're just going to do 8 rows. It just doesn't need to be, if you want to do 9 rows, you can do 9 rows. It doesn't necessarily have to be as long, is the only thing. You just want to make sure that you end on a purl row. Go ahead and get that done, and I will show you what to do from there. The 8 rows for the thumb are done, and